up. They've been against everyone but BLG dominant so far here at MSI.
And the good news for the traditionalist AD carries, and probably for Dracos as well, is that 4 mages were actually played in that first game. So that's 4 champions that can't go bot lane in this game 2 of Fearless.
And how many mages are there on the roster of League of Legends?
45.
Yeah, probably a few. Yeah. I think we could go through all of Fearless with everyone playing a mage, and we probably get back to the top of it. As Vi and Poppy once again banned away by T1. FURIA are going to remove the Nocturne, the Nautilus, and the Pike. Does mean Bard is on the table alongside Ziggs if T1 want to go in that direction. It will be FURIA's first pick, though, as they had right of first selection.
Yep, and then T1 decided to take a blue side after that. The Pike ban is looking to just slightly disrupt the Mel Pike if that's something that T1 was going to play later. And because they were first pick, they now get to permanently ban Bard from Keria this series. So can never be mad at that strategy against T1.
True. And JoJo has 100% win rate on it in spring. So it's not something that he's just picking to get it away from Keria.
He has his Bard card.
Yeah, I will say Keria probably has the most experience of everyone in the world of being good at Bard. Has a skin for it for a reason. Looks like T1 just going to lock in a safe, stable early jungler. Jarvan so good at being out on the map early doors. Does want a little bit more CC alongside him, maybe a bit of dive. Can be a bit of a struggle if you're EQ ulting and then everyone else is on 3 screens away or in a different lane.
True. Yeah, I'm curious to see the strategy that T1 takes for draft for the rest of this series, because on one hand, you do just want to practice optimally drafting and trying to pick the right matches. But on the other hand, you do want to, T1 has to show so many cards as a result of going through the play-in, losing in the upper bracket of the first round of the bracket stage, and now going through the lower bracket. In fact, if they are to win this MSI, it'll mean they play 9 best-of-5s, which would be more best-of-5s than anyone's ever played at an international tournament ever. And it would also be the most games that anyone has had to play to ever win an MSI. Current record breaker would be RNG back in 2021 when we had double group stages. It's just insanity. And T1 would still play more games than then. But my point being is they want to vary draft as much as possible to remain unpredictable later in the series, despite playing nearly every day.
I guess the other argument is do exactly the same drafts every game for the first best of 3. And then you have your pocket picks left after that, right? And you're just showing the same thing over and over again. But teams obviously will try and stop you from showing the things you've already shown because they know that you're good at those. And you are beating everyone 3-0 apart from BLG. People tend to get a whiff of what your priorities are.
Super standard so far, though, for T1 with Jarvan Rumble already locked in. And a pretty early Aatrox flex here. But good chance it does go to Guigo up in the top lane here.
Yeah, Guigo can play it. We have seen it a couple of times from Tatu as well. In fact, more recently we've seen it from Tatu than we have seen it from Guigo.
We have.
So still the option of putting it into the jungle. I think the flexibility of it, obviously, right now, very beneficial for FURIA.
I mean, I guess if Tatu wants to just take the ball, though, Aatrox would be a champ that he'd be able to do that on.
Yeah. But you do like CC. You've only got the Bard so far for crowd control. I mean, you have Infernal Chains on Aatrox, but to be honest, it's not true CC.
Upon further reflection, I do think it's going to be a jungler. I don't feel like you want to play that into Doran
Rumble. Yeah. Because you could look for something like Galio top into the Rumble. You could also go Ornn. Guigo has brought that out.
Yeah.
You could go really aggressive and try and play the Ambessa, which is something Guigo has played quite a lot this split. But for now, we'll move into our second phase of bans after Faker has locked in the Annie, most likely for himself. For Kali and Lucian taken off the board. FURIA likely to try and stop Peyz from getting his hands on anything that can absolutely dominate this Ezreal Bard bot lane.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This champ select music is also a vibe. That was a beat that was just going during the second ban phase. This is how it feels to draft against T1, even in game 2 of a best-of-5. Reminder that the loser of this series is eliminated from MSI. I saw a rather clever yet mean-spirited comment that T1 is making sure to give FURIA the play-in experience, as they did to the NA and EU teams.
Yes.
All throughout play-in.
So. They do to a lot of teams, even further into tournaments. But yes, it has not been the easiest of experiences to face up against T1 unless you are from the LPL or the LCK. As Jin, the second ban from FURIA. Caitlyn going to get locked in. Caitlyn, Elise, obviously a tried and true combination. We also looked at things like Deluxe.
Yeah, I'm thinking Caitlyn Lux here for Peyz Keria. Have a little bit of fun with it if they'd like to. And now we're going to get to see if they go with the Ornn in the top lane. I think it makes the most sense with T1 already being locked in. It also puts Guigo right where he has been for most of the split, kind of weak side top, and then lets it play through the jungle. And there it is.
Keria, 100% win rate on this Lux, this split. No real surprises there. The Caitlyn has also 100% win rate for T1. 7 games on it for Peyz.
They win a lot.
It's just deadly. It's just a deadly bot side. It's a deadly top side. This Rumble is going to be able to print money as well. If he goes for the first strike into an Ornn, you just walk up to him, you flame spit, and it's like, aha! Usually burning money is a bad thing, but in this case, beneficial. And Oner really has the rule of the roost. Can go to any lane and there's crowd control for him. And alongside that, you have great burst, especially from bot side and from mid. Oner, he has a lot of options this game.
Yeah, they're not particularly easy to gank champions, but he has a lot of assistance from his laners to help the ganks happen.
Yeah.
I will say he's probably going to more likely play around the pressure of the bot lane. So I really want to look early on where the early wards fall, and if FURIA is able to prevent like a very early turret dive or getting pushed off turret, because I do not think that the Ezreal Bard can really, stand against the Caitlyn Lux.
How do you outpush that?
Early.
You have so much that you have to struggle with. Lucent Singularity, you have the Pilled Over Peacemaker just for wave clear, you have the range advantage as well, and then you're always under threat of a light binding. Like, if you get caught with a light binding, it's an immediate snap trap underneath you. It's probably a snap trap just behind you as well.
Yep.
So as you try and walk away, you're going to get caught in that. You put down a Magical Journey as the Bard, well, there's a cupcake at the front of it, so you're going to take a Magical Journey back to the fountain quicker than you would have intended. Bot lane, definitely the key focus in our eyes at least. Good vision placed, though. Towards the Razorbeak, spots out Oner on that side of the map. Looks like he is going to clear it from top to bot. Tutsz trading with Faker, stunned up by the Disintegrate, and in the end they will both walk away from this one slightly less healthy than they were as they walked into lane.
I'm not sure if Faker got a glimpse of the Aatrox early on there. Has not spent his ward, so he's able to hold that.
Are you a Riftbound aficionado?
No, sir.
Oh, well, Vendetta comes out on the 31st of
podcast
July.
Partner who's really into it.
He really is. And he will be incredibly excited for the T1 collection that's coming out as well. You can grab your signature collection from T1, Faker's Galio, serialized. Alongside that, the new Ahri skin.
The crossover of, LoL eSports or League of Legends fan with Riftbound, I actually feel like is very high. Just...
Agreed. I think the IP is amazing, right? And so I think people... We're all kind of nerdy. I want to give you that one. I know your nerddom is golf.
Really?
Right? But we're all kind of nerdy.
And so, mine is gone.
Yeah, yours is golf. Golf.
Dude, I talk about formats passionately weekly.
True. Okay, maybe that's...
I feel like I have a little bit of a problem with my nerdism.
I think the transition from, say, Magic the Gathering or other card games has happened as we see T1's history so far at this MSI.
Yeah. Road of MSI for T1. Their Road 2 nearly let them beat HLE, but ended up putting them here as the second seed, which meant they got to beat Team Liquid and KC and play in just for fun. And then lost first round of the knockouts, barely to BLG, which now puts them here in FURIA. But this also means, since they are now in the lower bracket, they have to win a flurry of best of fives if they want to win their first MSI since 2017. If they are to win this entire tournament, they will need to win 8 total best of fives. Electrocute can't hurt you after you walk away from it, luckily. No Deathfire touch.
Yeah, no burn on the Annie, which is not in keeping with her thematics, I guess. But
I guess.
Yeah, unable to take down Tutsz. Tutsz forced away as he will have to teleport back to the lane. Both the junglers on their final camps on their first jungle clears. The Lucent Singularity clips RU, and you can see the push already coming out from that Caitlyn Lux bot lane. And we talked about push as possible dives, we talked about the pressure that Caitlyn Lux can put on, but it also just means you get camps a lot easier as the jungler. This Scuttle Crab, I doubt there will be a contest from FURIA. In fact, the recall's already happened from Tutsz.
Yeah, but I will say, I think FURIA is actually completely okay with how this early game played out. It wasn't one of those 3 or 4 camp from Jarvan into invading Gromp and Blue, because the potential actually would have been there. Aatrox started top side, Path bot side. They could have tried to force some stuff in the jungle early, but instead they just kind of both full cleared away. Although, I mean, that's really going to mess up the tempo of Oner. He's still yet to base or buy.
Yeah, I mean, the other option is it means that Oner just ganks you.
It could, but
He's not going to do it. He's going to reset. I think that's smart. Might lose his Gromp for it. It was well played by Tatu, waiting for the recall from JoJo, sorry. Waiting for the recall almost to have finished, but the Gromp not quite up yet means that Tatu will just get the vision in and then go back towards his Krugs to go for his second clear.
Yeah, can't really risk it based on where the Rumble Ornn is. I think he actually could have finished it in time, but then he'd be worried about getting chased down. So Tatu makes the conservative play on Aatrox, knows he has the full clear, knows his camps are up, is just going to continue to cycle games.
It's also the opposite for Tatu, right? His wave is pushed up in topside, his wave is pushed up in mid. The reaction speed for T1 is so much more rapid than FURIA can develop for him, so he would prefer just to be like, okay, you can have all of your camps, I'll have all of my camps, that's fine by me. As Tutsz once again is below half HP in the mid lane.
Faker playing this Annie very aggressively, not wanting Tutsz to have any ability to roam and bail out any of the side lanes that are getting permanently pushed in. So even though the score is still 0-0 and the game hasn't broken, T1 is pressuring very heavily in lanes.
Yeah, you can see that from the gold leads. 250 in the mid lane, 360 in the bot lane, and even another 140 for Keria. So it's a collective 500 gold lead for that bot side of the map. Oner out on it. JoJo here as well. Cosmic Binding doesn't connect as Tatu. I mean, I really doubt he's going to start this. Probably just looking for a little bit of vision, but he might just start it up straight away. He's pontificating. He's taking a moment to think about it. Now he dashes the wall.
Okay. See if he can try and make something happen bot lane. So difficult to do anything against the Caitlyn Lux.
Unless they step too far forward. And with Tutsz coming down as well, like, I think Keria and Peyz have enough information that they realize there's a possibility they're going to get ganked. Equalizer down as well from Doran, who did go for the Deathfire Touch instead of the first strike on this Rumble.
Yeah, it still has his red potion from his masteries as well. So anytime you try to all-in him, he's going to have a very powerful punch. So T1 playing with a lot of respect, but also a lot of efficiency right now.
Yeah.
They don't need to make anything crazy happen because they are organically winning all of their matchups pretty substantially 6 minutes in.
Yeah, and if you take this Drake, if FURIA take a fight, you believe you can win it because you have push in the lanes and you have been able to garner these small advantages. And then in a minute 50, you go to Grubs. You already have push in all the lanes. Yeah. If you have Grubs on top of that, it's just going to accelerate that push forward. It looks like T1 have backed away from the Dragon as JoJo comes in with a magical journey. Cosmic Binding doesn't hit onto Keria. JoJo forced to walk away. And unable to find any connection there on the Bard. Yep. Not using the Keria skin either. We've seen a lot of players into Keria when they play the Bard use that T1 skin.
I can respect it. It's a good skin. Hopefully you're not going to throw Keria off his game by reminding him that he's...
Yeah, but I wonder if you bolster him by reminding him that he has a skin. Like, he can look at it and be like, yes, that day when I won that skin.
Until we have data that using the skin doesn't just result in a T1 win, or not using the skin doesn't just result in a T1 win, I don't think we can make any conclusions. He's just winning too much.
There's a statistician out there that can compare all of the Bards against Keria.
True.
Win percentage with the Keria skin, without the Keria skin, and then we can draw some insubstantial conclusions off that. You know? Lies, damn lies, and statistics, I believe, is the quote. As Tutsz gets a little bit of vision around the Infernal Drake, and T1 just continue the pressure that they have across the map. Guigo here, forward slow by Doran. Has gone for the Swifties first to make sure he can get the chase. Build over Peacemaker will stop the base from JoJo. And Keria is out on the map with that Aether Wisp Faker.
Oh.
Tibber's not as wide. That's on a diet recently.
Yep. Just got fancy feet on the Ahri there. Second Tibbers of the game for Faker. He'd used it previously before Oner had started the Drake. That's actually probably one of the reasons Oner did pull off that Drake, because Ahri was in fog and in theory could have done something. And T1 doesn't need to take any risks right now with how quickly Peyz and Keria are getting plates down in the bot lane. So the more they can just hold the game in this state, the more sure their victory is going to be.
Disintegrate onto Tutsz. JoJo looking for the chase, but Cosmic Bind is not going to do too much more. The Tibbers does die, but look at the bot side. Like Keria and Oner teaming up to steal away this blue buff. True Shot Barrage will come out. Oner there with the smite. JoJo, it's just short of being hit by a flag and drag combination, but still objectives going over to T1. Not playing for the grubs though instead just playing for the towers and those tower plates, whereas Tatu has actually started up the grubs himself.
Yeah, it's there's got to be, we need to make a term for taking grubs when your team has absolutely no chance of hitting a turret.
Sure.
Like there's got to be a name for that. Like, are they...
Ripley's Believe It or Not. It's like there's no benefit to taking the grubs, but people do it anyway.
It's true. It's more to deny the other team from getting the grubs.
Final spike onto RU. He's going to flash away from the Cataclysm. Oner now needs to flag and drag, but with the TP behind him, FURIA with the World Ender. Tatu looking to clip Oner's wings and will do so. T1 make an aggressive move, and FURIA very willing to pounce.
Okay, I mean, and he's got the grubs, so he's got experience for himself for that level 7 versus level 6 collapse, but they should be able to get the Drake as well. Will be a little tricky. RU is in base, so Keria Peyz are going to think about fighting this.
Baker trying to step forward, flashes away from the Spirit Rush and the Charm. JoJo forcing Keria away, but Tatu is able to take that Drake, uses the Blast Cone. Now Faker without flash in the mid lane could be susceptible to a gank. That Spirit Rush obviously a much shorter cooldown. Charm does connect, but no more follow-up for FURIA.
We'll get a replay of that to see how FURIA was able to get such a nice angle onto Oner. It didn't really feel like there was any way that T1 could have retaliated to that play.
I mean, I feel it was Oner went in with the Cataclysm. Because they final sparked onto RU.
Yeah.
Oner Cataclysms in, RU flashes the wall.
Just didn't have enough damage to finish.
He's too deep, yeah. And he's trying to keep, the rush of blood from his head. But instead, he went under.
Well, they're sure to get the turret.
True.
But we may, don't want to jinx it, this may be another game 2 T1.
It could be. Very much could be. Final spark onto RU. We'll call that one the penultimate spark, because it didn't actually end up killing him off, but it was close enough to a final one, as Oner standing in the wings means that this tower is pretty much forfeit for FURIA. T1's still doing what they want to do. A minor blip as Oner looks to make JoJo a bit of a minor blip on the chart of this game as well. A small increase in gold, but instead he just backs away. Call of the Forge God from Guigo. We'll get the knock-up, looking for the Brittle as well, but with the Flame Spitter coming out, he has to flash away. Doran just dies to the tower! I think he had vision on Tatu coming around the corner and knew there was no way out for him.
So he just makes sure to not give over any additional assist gold.
Yeah.
Technically saves money, really, if you think about it. Doran math.
Yeah. Ooh, final. The light binding coming out immediately. Snapchat there as well. Tatu, still the ace in the hole will get vision. I thought perhaps he would have escaped, but the ace in the hole from Peyz chases him. It's Doran math like guy math, where you go into a golf shop, it's like, yeah, but my driver is quite old.
Yeah, it's just a perversion of math. It's like, well, I needed to die, otherwise they'd get more gold.
Oh, we call it bounce math.
Yeah, bounce math.
Yeah, because you can get gold from the towers and such as well. Tempered Fate Keria flashes it, wisely so, with Tutsz on his way across. Gold lead for Tatu once again, but he's the only one with one, alongside Guigo, but I mean, an Ornn being 200 gold up isn't too substantial. The advantage for T1, though, a little bit more sizable. 1.7 thousand the lead for Peyz, who already has his Hex Optics, and Keria already has his Shurelya's.
Currently, the number for the gold difference of T1 is the same as the number of the gold difference for Peyz. Yeah. Which is, considering the champion and the player that Peyz is, not good for FURIA.
No, it's also in his name. He always gets Peyzed. So he's going to dodge to the side of JoJo here. Heal has to be used. It's a 4v2. Final spark clips his heals, and now Tatu needs to deal with Oner. Tutsz trying to go in with the Spirit Rush. Will get one and manages to get away with the second charge. World Ender out from Tatu, running away from his teammates, though, as perhaps he can dash across the wall in time. Dark Englaive. It's the Q3. Does he have the Umbo dash? He manages just in time.
Okay, could have actually been a lot worse for FURIA there. It did feel like Faker might have missed his stun on his Tibbers again. We'll have to see it one more time. Thought for sure he'd be able to secure the kill on the Ahri, but that 1,800 gold lead does grow to a 2,100 gold lead for Peyz as he continues to pelt Guigo under the turret.
Like hailstones just constantly on the rocky exterior of the Ornn, who went for the Kainic Rukun first. So doesn't have a huge amount of armor to be dealing with this Caitlyn. And because they've already got the bot lane tower, having Caitlyn up in top makes sense. There's a Rift Herald up in a minute 40, likely to move Peyz into mid lane because the next objective you want to play around is that dragon. JoJo goes for the engage, knowing Keria has no flash.
True, so they're really trying to lock him down. Can't get the angle for the stun, and Peyz just is doing a lot more damage than they'd expect so far. No way to dodge. Perfectly angled Lux ultimate right there up against the wall. And then they actually end up, watch how low they get him here. And I'm trying to pay attention to Faker. I think it was perfectly flashed there by the Ahri, so couldn't get the Tibbers stunned.
And then Guigo comes in and just has to walk away immediately afterwards. Still that 2,000 gold lead, still all of it sitting in the pockets of Peyz as JoJo with a good magical journey manages to get himself away. Peyz 13-1 on this Caitlyn, undefeated in spring, 7-0. Almost 1,000 DPM, damage per minute. That is
career average.
That is very high. Usually you see those numbers sitting around the 500 to 700 range, even for good AD carries. But it also shows how much T1 play around this Caitlyn and how much they facilitate him to get so far ahead in the game. As the Call of the Forge God is invested.
No flash.
Keria with a light binding, as you say, no flash, and there's the follow-up true shot barrage. Straight through Keria's heart, dies for the second time this game.
Nicely played there by FURIA, keeping this game close. They also do have the one Drake. If only Peyz wasn't connected via mouse and keyboard to this game, they'd have a much higher chance of winning. But, I mean, because they've killed Keria, they're going to get their second Drake here.
And the gold lead between IU and Peyz does shrink. And it's down to only 1.3k as Tutsz forced out by Tibbers and co. And we'll continue to chase. Faker flashes the Incinerate, not quite wide enough to connect on that Ahri.
Ooh, does burn the ultimate, though. We'll get some free time on this turret. You can see Peyz. I thought Peyz was just going to run up there to collect more plates, but he's going to hold this mid prio now. They've camped the Caitlyn in the mid lane to try and get permanent mid push. I've been glazing Peyz a lot here.
I mean, he's very good.
This is a great start to the game for FURIA. Like a 1,000 gold deficit with an Ornn composition and 2 Drakes is a very good game state to be in.
TP behind as well. Just wide on the tempered fate, but Tutsz is here. The charm flashed by Peyz, and this is what FURIA have been doing really well, as you say. They constantly find ways to burn those summoners, to get picks, to look for the engage, and here's Tatu for a little bit more. Can't land the second part of the Darkened Blade, but with the Cataclysm coming out, Oner might be done for. True Shot Barrage, almost! They're all so low, FURIA can taste it! But they just can't quite get it down.
I mean, just a great look, though, overall from FURIA, getting Peyz's flash, pushing him out of the fight, and then also making everyone on T1 reset, giving them time to push out their own mid lane, move top. Like, they're setting up the map in a good state to continue to make these plays, and now, with no flash on Peyz, they might be able to get him on the next attempt.
Keria's flash is back up, but no flashes on Faker or Oner either. No Cataclysm too, so it's going to be able to get some plates for himself on the top side, and that is predominantly where the lead is for FURIA. You can see Tatu 1,000 gold ahead, Guigo as well, 400. Rift Herald has spawned. Doran has teleport currently in the bot side. Guigo has his as well. TP in from the Ornn, who started to put those masterworked items at least into his own inventory at level 13, can't put them into others. A run out from Doran. So he's not going to invest the summoner spell TP to get here very rapidly, but still will be here in time.
We'll see who decides to pull the trigger on this fight, because it feels like when Oner has gone in, the fights have been turned fairly well by FURIA, but if they find the right angle, this Ornn's, like at this stage in the game, Guigo's really difficult to move off of space because the Rumble Annie can't really threaten him with burst, and I don't feel like the Caitlyn has that level of damage yet.
Yeah, no armor penetration on the Caitlyn either as Shirelius comes out. Faker looking for the chase. Arcane shift away from IU. 4,000 on the Herald, down to 2. Equalizer on the backline. The final spot there for the follow-up, and it's Oner who manages to secure the Herald, and now FURIA are running for the hills. Guigo having to flash the wall as T1 are able to force the CB LOL off that turret immediately. Put the Rift Herald down, look for the charge in. Still, we've got a Drake up in 2 minutes, and FURIA still have ways back into this game.
Probably breaking this mid turret right now, though, which is just going to be so good for T1. Such a clutch smite there by Oner, taking it and not falling. So Peyz just going to continue to try and accelerate that. Gold lead was around 2,000 for him, went down to about 1,300, back to 2,000 again. Watching this one more time, really nice equalizer into Final Spark combo, which makes FURIA not want to do a full engage here because their carries and jungler are already too low. So it was really all about if you could land the smite. They don't, and it turns into a big win for T1.
Yeah, it's one of those tough ones where, like, you're looking at Q3, Darkened Blade 3 smite for the Aatrox, or you're looking at Dragon Strike smite for the Jarvan, right? Both of them do a relatively equivalent amount of damages, as we see Keria's record on this Lux. 17 wins on it. Currently undefeated this split, and in the coin-based gold grind as well, as Tatu and JoJo try and grind out some kills. Very even between the two junglers. A 700 gold lead for Tatu as Keria does step forward, caught out with the Cosmic Binding just on the edge of the wall, and Keria flashes Shirelius, gets himself out, called to the Forge God. Doesn't find his mark, the True Shot Barrage as well. Woo! Steps to the side. Nicely done from Keria to survive with his life, but still seeing some signs of life from FURIA too.
Yeah, it's all the defense that T1 has to play here. Keria really on the back foot, which means he's not then looking to pressure the mid lane with the Lux, forcing flashes of his own. So he's really having to play on the back foot as Tatu is looking top lane onto Faker.
Tatu's on his way across, as you say. Tutsz going in with the Spirit Rush. Tibbers doesn't connect. Spirit Rush away from it. Tutsz, the charm, the flash away. TP coming in as T1 try to defend. Their enigmatic mid laner, Equalizer down, flash. Flame Spitter are not enough, but the final spark again won't quite take him. It's the upgraded Chainmail Spacers. A far side alteration finds the ace and the Ahri in the hole. A Cataclysm down from Oner as JoJo tries to get out with the Mikhails. The heal not enough. JoJo goes down, a double in the end for Peyz. From mid to top, back to mid, T1 find fights across the rift.
What a beautiful sequence there by T1. And if that's not just indicative of how things are just set up on a silver platter for Peyz with the way this team often plays. Faker up top lane, burns flash alt. Doran burns flash alt. Keria burns alt. What does Peyz do? Press R. 300 gold. Congratulations.
Hey, he also pressed his Farsight alteration.
True.
It could have been Doran's Farsight. There's two of them. There's two of them. Let's see where Peyz begins to move, because at the start, Faker has to burn this flash. FURIA then begin to realize they don't want to take an extended play.
Yeah, and I mean, it is definitely a part of a longer play. Like, the fact that they have mid lane push already, like, Peyz can move up here because they've been able to push the lane early, and then he obviously just pops down his trinket, presses R. A really insane play would have been JoJo flashing in front of Peyz to catch the bullet and dying himself. But it would have been, it would have looked cool.
It would have looked really cool, man.
And it would have denied a little bit of gold.
Get down, Mr. Ahri.
From Peyz, who's about to complete his Infinity Edge 21 minutes into the game.
And sometimes things just go that way. Like Tutsz, you have the chainmailed laces, gives you that magic damage shield. You survive through the final spark and you think you're out, but the positioning, as you say, from Peyz enough. And now a 3,500 gold lead for T1. 2.2 of that sitting on their AD carry. Next objective up is the Baron. If T1 want to play around it, they're already trying to garner control towards this top side. They did also manage to get a Drake, so there's a long time until we see a possible soul for FURIA. They've been delayed at least by 5 minutes.
What are the chances Peyz gets a pentakill in this game? I feel like it's kind of lining up that way with how accelerated he is.
He is the Penta Prince as well. I think he's at 15 so far throughout his career, if I remember the numbers correctly. Is the call of the Forge God praying
Did he just
the gods to try and find their mark, but Doran with the fancy feet just dodges to the side. It's Doran! He survives the scrap shield. In the end, he will fall, but Doran delays and delays and delays and delays, and now Oner and Peyz want to make this play. Instead, now Peyz backs away. The rest of FURIA on their way across, and Annie pushing in the top lane means T1 is still getting something out of the time spent bots.
Sometimes League's just not fair. You can dodge so many point-blank skill shots, still die, and still have your team not be able to get a meaningful cross-map. The timing just wasn't quite there for T1. They half-shifted everyone over after this, but I mean, it's the strangest Doran highlight, because he literally dies and T1 gets nothing. But like, just look at this, man. He completely dodges the Q, gets charmed, sidesteps the Ornn horn, completely dodges the EQ dash from Guigo, and then the charm comes up again, is able to just sidestep that too, and then he dies. So
yeah, I mean, but you see it, and you just you think he's getting out.
The problem really
is, it's pretty hard to get away from that combination of
T1 Baron. Infinity Edge completed. With the trap line.
On the Baron. Trap line down, as you say. Lucent binding, light binding coming out as well with the Lucent Singularity onto Ayu. It looks like T1 are going to pull off it for a second as Peyz begins to chip away at those health bars. They'll pull off even further. Tutsz goes in. There's the charm. Dodges away with the Spirit Rush 2. Tempered Fate goes between the uprights, but Guigo goes forward. Peyz backing away. And now with the equalizer dying, the battle lines have been drawn. Oner jumps over them. The Call of the Forge God coming out as well as Guigo is so low. Oner down to half HP. A magical journey out for Guigo gets him to safety, but the re-engage from Oner is enough onto Tutsz. Tatu having to dash across the wall as well, but Peyz is flashing forward as he wants some more blood for the Blood God. In the end, T1 will just take 2. They'll take the Baron alongside it, which they started up to start the fight. JoJo might look for something special across the wall, but Ayu being kept at bay by Peyz and Keria. Magical journey into the light binding as Peyz hits the build over Peacemaker, and peace has been made. An ace in the hole blocked by Ayu. A piece at what cost for FURIA as T1 take the Baron, take a 5,000 gold lead.
Beautiful control by T1 right here. They're doing this fight because Peyz completed his Infinity Edge, and they're going to win an extended fight with lethal tempo Caitlyn. It gets a little bit scary right here when they're able to land the knockup, but you can see the Mikhails comes through immediately for Keria. He can just reposition Peyz's Caitlyn, and that gives Oner the ability to just go for the re-engage. And at this point, all the engage has been spent. Peyz is still at 3/4 health, and he can kind of just walk up and hit whoever he wants. Everyone gets caught in the pit. T1 is able to do a re-engage. Just a really beautiful fight for T1. I don't see much more that FURIA could do to make that a positive situation. So a really good idea for T1 to just start that Baron.
Yeah, I think the only way FURIA can really win out there is by being 5,000 gold further into this game, right? Like if their damage sticks a little bit more, if Guigo is a little tankier, perhaps it's enough. But now T1 with this Red Bull Baron power play are pushing up through the bottom lane. Oner trying to make sure that FURIA don't have 2 lanes to play through, because Tutsz is currently playing through 2 of them. Cosmic Binding as he cataclysms, but with a flang and drag, he should be able to get to his defensive line. Tempered Fate out, Tutsz coming across as well. T1, so a few little skirmishes as the charm doesn't connect. Teleport out as well as Tutsz dashes across the wall, but Tatu is done for. Doran stepping forward onto Ayu. Won't be able to take the kill, but a final spark, the final breath that Ayu breathes. As FURIA, they thought they'd found Oner, but the rest of T1 are just always there to respond.
They definitely got to try something, but Oner was just able to buy so much time. And against T1, every second counts. So Peyz also went for a little bit of extra gold. We'll see if he can get out of this one.
I'm pretty sure he's going to.
He's going to walk away.
There's the Brittle. A little bit of a slow, but the Cosmic Binding already used to stop the rest of T1 getting here as quickly as they could. Light Binding wide, but Peyz's damages absolutely absurd. 3 items complete with the Phantom Dancer, Hex Optics, and the IE. Now can back away. They've broken the inhibitor line. It's a 7k lead at 26 minutes. And although it hasn't been rapid, it has felt like T1 have been in control for most of this game.
They really have, and it's been all about the bottom lane. I mean, you can see a 7,700 gold lead now for T1, but that is almost all concentrated on this Caitlyn. Working towards his last Whisper now. Potentially soul point for FURIA if they can kill this fast enough. But Oner would be able to just fly in with his Cataclysm. Peyz is the man to watch.
Traps going down. As you say, Peyz the man to watch on the back line. Equalizer on that front line. Forcing Guigo away. Good smite from Tatu. Will secure it. Charm onto Oner, but already Guigo is just burned to a crisp. JoJo takes the kill, but T1 now can step up as 4. They'll chase the bot lane of FURIA down towards their usual home, and they will make it into a tomb. JoJo able to escape. Ayu does not do the same. An ace in the hole for JoJo. No stand to save him as T1 clean up the fight.
I mean, Peyz gets the 2 auto attacks onto JoJo, says, I'm going to put you away, deal with you later. Walks up the lane, finishes off the Ezreal. Ults the Bard in the back, picks up both kills for himself, and they might just walk it in.
And although FURIA have shown signs of life at this series, you've got to do more than that to take a game off the champs. T1 just ripping through the base of FURIA. Tutsz and Tatu back up for what would be a final stand, but so far their final stands perhaps not needed as of yet. A teeper behind.
Oh, here it goes.
Here we go. What can you pull? What magic you got? What rabbit coming out of that hat? At the moment, Guigo just running away more rabbit-like than the rest. Call of the Forge God coming in. They'll look for Keria, Faker, and Peyz. They land the knock-up, a Molten Shield onto Peyz. But Guigo is just by himself, man. JoJo trying to chase up with the Tempo Fake. Guigo now having to retreat. The Equalizer on the backline as well, forcing FURIA away. And even with the charm landing onto Oner, Baker has had enough of this game. Flash Tibbers onto JoJo. He'll flash away. Peyz goes legendary. Add one more to his name. As Tutsz, IU, and Tatu can do nothing while T1 push through bot side.
That would have been the pentakill angle, but Doran took the kill on the Bard. So now I feel like they're just going to use the super minion wave and try and end the game.
Keria flashing forward with that Lucent Singularity. Peyz tanking the tower, because why not? You might as well. The second Nexus tower should be pretty done for. Raised to the ground by T1. As although FURIA raised the hopes of the CB LOL for a little while, T1 put them back into the ground. A 10K lead in 29 minutes. T1 will take us to match point.
Peyz is shut down at the end to end his perfect scoreline, but that's just a formality. It didn't look fair. Peyz's Caitlyn Lux just doesn't look fair. Analyst desk, how do you deal with that?